Good morning, Joyfluers. How are we? I don't know why it feels like forever since I've been on. It's only been a week. So much to share. Yeah, wow. My topic that I've picked to chat about this morning is flow versus force. And I picked this because it's really playing out for me right now at the minute. I just have been offered a training role that kind of just came out of nowhere. And so, yeah, that's a 12-month contract, 3-day a week training gig, which I'm very, very excited about. It's a really good opportunity for me. So, and yeah, I was just sort of reflecting over time when things have just flowed in, like this job. And it seems like when these opportunities come in, it just happens so quickly and with ease, and without a lot of having to push or maneuver or to make it happen or do a lot to make it happen. Versus the times when we do have to jump through so many hoops, work really hard. And I don't know, look, it's just interesting. And, you know, I think about some of the things that have really, I'll focus on career and business. So things that have really happened really easily. Like I remember when I got my first graduate job out of university, and I had applied for a ridiculous number of graduate positions, and some of them, man, the hoops that you had to go through to get these roles. I remember at one point, I can't remember, it was with one of the large banks. I think they had, I don't know how many phases during their graduate recruitment process, and I'd made it to the stage where you're sitting in a room doing psychometric testing, like, and weird questions, things like, did you skip to school as a child? And I was like, I don't know, a couple of hours out of your day to go into the city and do this test. And I remember sitting there answering these questions and going, do I really want to work for an organization that is going to determine whether or not I'm a good fit, a good employee for them based off these sort of questions? And needless to say, at that point, I finished the questionnaire and I walked out, and I was like, I don't want that job. And anyway, what happened shortly thereafter is I did get offered a graduate position for a company whose process had just been so streamlined, and it was just so easy. You know, it was purely just resume, cover letter, interview, included a presentation element, and then there was an offer. And it was, even though there was, you know, aspects that I had to do and prepare, it was easy. It didn't come at a cost of me having to push. I remember my actual undergraduate and doing my honours year and writing a thesis, and holy shit, that almost killed me. Like, having to actually write this, I don't know how many hundred thousands of words it was, maybe 300,000 words or something, thesis, and over a 12-month period, and that almost killed me. And like, At so many points during that year, I just wanted to like throw it all in because the cost was so great to me. It was actually too hard. Now, I did push through and I did succeed, and I'm grateful for that because it did then land me that great graduate position. So it was all worth it, ultimately, in the end. And consequently, since that job, the graduate position one, all of the jobs that I have consequently taken on since then, similar thing, like just the right job would come up at the right time, or I'd hear about it, not even through necessarily searching for it. It would just come up and the application would be smooth and getting the job would be really easy. And then on other hands, there's been jobs that I've gone for thinking that I really wanted it and working and putting together the application and, maybe getting an interview, maybe not, and it not working out. I've had some fantastic opportunities come through with working for myself. And again, they just sort of come out of nowhere. And it's interesting because I guess I can just observe this and not make anything of it. Or I could go, well, maybe this is feedback. When things are easy, simple, and just seem to happen for me, is that a sign of, well, that's ultimately, it's like life nudging me in a particular direction, versus, when I have to hustle and really push and work really hard and, be really dedicated and consistent and push without necessarily getting any results, or the results are really hard earned. Like over the years, I've done so many different of the marketing things, like obviously the Joyflu group, my Waking Women's, all my various training things that I've done. Like I remember, I think it was early last year. Yeah, I think it was early last year. Like I did this cool mail out to a handful of schools. They had like a term planner in it that I, branded with the synergized training. I thought it was pretty cool, personally. And like that didn't result in anything. Now, it's not to say that I shouldn't continue doing that just because I didn't get a response or the desired feedback. Like giving up first time, I don't really subscribe to. However, there's so many things that have sort of just happened organically, first go, really just flowing in. And it's like, I don't have the answer. Like I'm literally just contemplating this with you right now. And I'd be curious for your perspective, actually. So, do you use that idea that if something is hard, that maybe that's not the right direction, versus when things are just easy, that might be the direction? Or do I keep pushing and hitting non-results and resistance in a particular space? So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. Yeah, so it's been a big week. What's today? Friday. Yeah, so I had the interview on Monday, so it's been a really quick turnaround, and I start that Monday week, so it's really cool. Just something else that's sort of been, well, actually there's two big things rocking my world at the minute. So yesterday I went and attended Authentic Education's Turning Point intensive, which is a free event, personal development. The idea being that you attend that and then they upsell you to their various programs, be it coaching or productivity, marketing. And I do these things time to time. I like watching people who are great speakers and presenters and trainers, and also seeing people, have a knack for being able to influence and sell from the stage. And so this one was presented by a guy called Benjamin J. Harvey, and I've heard from other people that he's really good, and I must say it was really good. For all of the programs and trainings that I've attended, there's always something new to learn. There's always something that I can pick up. So that was great, because it was actually quite a great amount that I got out of yesterday. They covered off a thing called shadow values. And so values is a massive PD thing, working out what our own internal drivers are, what motivates us, what's important to us. And so we looked at the shadow aspects of what can be underlying some of our behaviors, and how to acknowledge them, and then potentially look for resourceful ways of getting those needs met through ourselves, so that it can adjust some of our behaviors that we may not be enjoying the results of. So that was really cool. And what really came up, and this is something that I have become quite aware of over the last few years, is my people-pleasing side. And that comes down to the shadow aspect of that is not wanting to be rejected. And so I've become quite aware of my, good girl, people pleaser sort of programming. And, it's not necessarily changing that, becoming aware and being okay with that aspect of myself, even though it then often prevents me getting the results that I want in life, because I'm so busy looking after everyone else and not looking after me, putting my own needs last. So there was some nice, really confronting elements of that I had to own up to yesterday. So I'm still sitting with that today. I'm going to do a little bit of a reflection, journaling with that later today, and just get that out of my system. And another thing is, so, you want to talk about synchronicity or signs or whatever. So on the last day of our holiday up at Coffs, just after Christmas, we're in a cafe in a nice little regional town, and I noticed a poster up, caught my eye, had bright colours and said the words radical wholeness, and that language appeals to me. So on the way out, as we were paying and finishing up, I glanced at it and quickly, noted what it was. It was a workshop being run, and I noted the name of the guy, and I looked him up once I was back in Melbourne, and coincidentally his workshop is running in Melbourne, 10 minutes from my house, in 6 weeks' time. Anyway, I felt, I really do. I really want to do that. Anyway, so he's written a book. He travels around internationally and runs these workshops. And so I thought, well, prior to signing up and doing this workshop, I'll read his book. And so I got it by Audible, because I like utilizing my time in the car with either podcasts or something that's educating me, where I'm learning. And so I thought, I'll be able to listen to his book, Radical Wholeness. Anyway, I started listening to a bit of it the other night, and within, I don't know, 20 minutes of listening to this book, mind blown. Like, seriously, like, he was sort of talking about culture and the invisible nature of culture that shapes who we are and how we behave in society and what's acceptable and that sort of thing. Anyway, I love it. Books, when I sign up for a workshop in development, I expect to be pushed into uncomfortable parts of myself, acknowledging things that don't feel great so that I can, flesh those out and expand myself. I expect that. I pay good money for that in a workshop. Same with a coaching session. I want to get to the gritty bits that are causing friction, where I'm not getting the results that I want. So I generally don't expect that so much in books, and occasionally I get a really nice surprise. Like, quite often books will be inspiring, motivating. They might have some handy tips or tricks, things that I can sort of apply. Not often, though, does a book actually really get that gritty, that doesn't feel good, or realization of things. Occasionally documentaries do. Again, not often, though. Really not often. So I was like, as much as it sucks having your world blown apart, which is what the beginning of this book actually did, I love it. I fucking love it. I love it because it just grants so much greater perspective on things. So yeah, I think it's like 9 hours of listening for that book. So I've got substantially more listening to do in that. And given how quickly it has totally blown up for me just from listening to that small snippet, I'm pretty excited about it. And the fact that now I've signed up to the workshop that's in 6 weeks' time. So, so it's been interesting, like, just in the last 48 hours, 72 hours, meal. So it's been fun. It's been fun sitting with that. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll let you get back to your day, and thanks for listening.